Hello and welcome back to Canadian Aviation. I'm a Canadian flight instructor, and with this channel I'm going to be sharing my experiences as an aviator. If you dream of being a pilot, you've come to the right channel. In this episode I'm going to be talking about exercise number 5 from the flight training manual. This guy right here. That exercise is called Attitudes and Movements. To begin, we'll start with a knowledge threshold test of the things you should have learnt in ground school. So if you were flying with me, I'd be asking you these questions and expecting you to know the answers. First question is, what are the 4 attitudes? Write them in the comment section down below. They are nose up attitude, nose down attitude, banked attitude, either left or right banked, and cruise attitude, which is where we are wings level. So that was wonderful. What are the 3 movements? All right, so we have 3 movements of our aircraft. We have pitch, that's where we are either pitching up or pitching down. We have roll, where we're rolling into a banked attitude, right or left, and we're yawing around our vertical axis. Yawing is always undesirable, and if it happens, we want to correct it and keep the plane straight, coordinated. I will now ask you to tell me what the 3 axes are, and if you know it, put it in the comment section down below. All right, so we have the lateral axis, which runs along the wings from wingtip to wingtip. We have the longitudinal axis, which runs from the tail to the nose, and the vertical axis, which runs from the belly through the top. All right. Rotation around each of these match its own movement. So if we're rotating around our vertical axis, we are yawing. Yawing is always undesirable, and we always want to correct for it, and that's what's known as stepping on the ball. We'll get to that in the future. If we're rotating around our lateral axis, then we are pitching, nose down or nose up. And if we are rolling around our longitudinal axis, then we are entering a banked attitude, either left bank or right bank. So remember that terminology for your attitudes and movements lesson. I'm going to show you cruise attitude. We use cruise attitude for 90% of our flying. We use it to get from one place to another. Notice in a cruise attitude, we should have a constant heading, a constant altitude, a constant airspeed, a constant power setting. Our nose, or the top of the dash here, is 4 fingers below the horizon. Our wings are level and parallel with the horizon. Cruise is our reference attitude. All other attitudes are referenced to this one, so it's important. Make sure you remember it. Good job with cruise attitude. Now I would show you nose up attitude, and I would ask you, what are the 3 kinds of nose up attitude? And you would tell me gentle, medium, and steep. Gentle is up to 5 degrees, medium's up to 10 degrees, and beyond 10 degrees is a steep nose up attitude. And our normal range is 10 degrees. We don't want to go beyond that typically. Of course, this is in reference to our cruise attitude. So we have our cruise attitude and our nose up attitude. Gentle, medium, steep. Next, I'm going to show you a nose up attitude. So we're currently in a cruise attitude. You can see here we're 4 fingers off the horizon. Our wings are level. To do so, I'm going to pull back on my control column, which will move our elevator into the airflow and pitch the nose up. I expect when I'm nosing up that our altitude will increase and our airspeed will decrease. Our VSI will show a rate of climb, and if we're doing it right, we're going to have wings level, constant heading, and wings level on the attitude indicator as well. All right, so I'll unpause and demonstrate for you a nose up attitude. All right, we're now in a nose-up attitude. I know we're in a nose-up attitude because above this glare shield here, we can only see the blue sky. We can't see the horizon. The horizon now cuts down below the glare shield. We also know that we pulled back on the control column because our airspeed decreased and our altitude is increasing. Our VSI shows a rate of climb while our heading is constant and our turn coordinator shows wings level ball center. Our attitude indicator shows that almost 10 degrees of nose up attitude. We can also see, if we look out the windows, that our wing is on an angle towards the sky, and our left wing is at the same angle, and the distance from the horizon to the wing is the same on both sides. So that is a nose-up attitude with no bank. To recover, I'm going to release the back pressure on my yoke and return to our cruise attitude. Remember that 4 fingers below the horizon. So I'll do that now. All right. The simulator was a little bit wanted to bank us there, but now we're back at a cruise attitude. So we can see that we have a 0 rate of climb. We've got that extra altitude that we gained in our climb. Our attitude indicator shows that we are wings level, and our airspeed has returned to our normal cruise airspeed, and we're 4 fingers below the horizon. All right, so in a moment I'm going to give you control. I want you to demonstrate for me a nose-up attitude. Very good with the nose-up attitude. There are 3 nose-up attitudes. Do you remember what they are, those 3? Well, they are gentle, medium, and steep nose-up attitudes. And that is a nose-up attitude. Gentle is up to 5 degrees, medium is up to 10 degrees, and steep is beyond 10. And we can see on the attitude indicator that we have 5-degree marks, so 5 degrees, 10 degrees, 15, and 20 degree nose-up attitudes. Although normally when we're flying, we won't pitch for one of these attitudes. Well, this is a reference for the attitude we're at, as is outside. But normally we'll pitch for an airspeed. So we'll practice that in a future lesson. Well done with nose-up attitude. Now I will show you nose-down attitude. Nose-down attitude broken into 3 types. What are they? Well, they're gentle, medium, and steep. And that would be 5 degrees, 10 degrees, and greater than 10 degrees. Very good. And normal range is up to 10 degrees nose down. To pitch down, I will push forward on the control column. And when the control column is pushed forward, what control surface in the aircraft will that move? It'll move the elevator. The elevator will move down into the airstream, causing the aircraft to rotate around our lateral axis, and our nose will move down. This attitude is used for descending. All right, here you can see that our aircraft is in cruise attitude. I'm going to show you nose down attitude. And again, I will push the control column forward to establish us in a nose down attitude. So unpause, and starting a bit of a bank there. Let's get the nose down. All right, and pause. Maybe just a little bit longer there. Okay, I am now in a nose down attitude. I know I'm in a nose down attitude because I can see that the horizon is well above the glare shield here, much more than 4 fingers. I can see that our airspeed is really high compared to our normal cruise. Our altitude is dropping. Our VSI shows a rate of descent. Our attitude indicator shows our nose below the horizon and matches what we see outside. You notice that there are 10-degree markings on the nose down attitude. You can see them right here, 10 and 20, and on nose up, as we said before, 5, 10, 15, and 20. So we can see right now that we are in a 10-degree nose down attitude. Other things to note: if we look out our right window, we'll see our wing is pointed down and on an angle with the horizon, and our left wing is pointed down on an angle with the horizon, and it's the same angle on both sides. Now I will recover. I'll recover by releasing the forward pressure on the yoke and bringing my glare shield back to my cruise attitude right about here. So I'll unpause and recover. All right, and I know I'm back at a cruise attitude now, as my airspeed has come back to a normal cruise airspeed. My altitude is constant, my VSI is 0, and my heading is constant, my wings are level, and the ball is center. All right, at this point I would give you control and ask you to show me a gentle nose down attitude and then recover. All right, and ask if you have any questions. And then once you're done, say well done on your nose down attitude. The next thing we'll talk about is a banked attitude. Remember that banked attitude is an attitude we get to when we rotate around our longitudinal axis. So we rotate around our longitudinal axis, we get into a right or a left bank, and to rotate around our longitudinal axis, we turn our control column in the plane, and outside that means that our ailerons, one goes up into the wind and the other one goes down, causing the aircraft to roll into our banked attitude. Okay? Banks are used for turning. When we get into a banked attitude, the aircraft will turn. And there are three kinds of banked attitude. Three kinds. What are they? Can you tell me? Write it in the comment section down below. They are gentle, medium, and steep banks. A gentle bank attitude is 0 to 15 degrees. A medium one is all the way up to 30 degrees, and beyond 30 is a steep turn. Just a note, in this level of practice, it's very important you never ever go beyond 25 degrees angle of bank. Right now I think it's probably better you stay at 15 until you learn more about turning the aircraft. Okay, steep turns are extremely dangerous, so no steep turns until we have advanced in our learning. All right, so I'm going to demonstrate for you a medium bank to the left. All right, here we are back in our aircraft again at a cruise attitude. I'm going to show you that medium bank to the left, and to do so I'll be turning the control columns. Remember that it's the ailerons that one goes up into the wind, one goes down, that causes us to make a turn. I'll know the angle of bank I'm at by observing the glare shield here and the angle it makes with the outside horizon, and that's what you're going to need to do for your flight test. Okay, so please pay attention to the outside view. Inside on the attitude indicator you will see that there are little lines here. They denote 10 degrees, 20 degrees, 30 degrees angle of bank. This one is 60 and 90. Note that 45 is missing. We will need that at some point. Some attitude indicators do have a 45 mark here, and some attitude indicators like this one have a 45 mark on the bottom. So when we turn these wings, if they're lined up with this line right here, then we are in a 45 degree bank to left, or here 45 degree bank to the right. But we are required to do this while looking outside. All right, I'm going to demonstrate for you a medium bank to the left. First thing we need to do before we do any banks or turns or climbs or descents is a lookout. So we should always be looking out, and when I'm doing it, you should be doing it too. So tell me if there's any oncoming aircraft. So we can look out to the left here, see any other planes, and to the right. When we're done our lookout, I need you to announce to me clear. I'll say clear, and that'll mean there's no traffic in sight. If you do see traffic, I want you to say traffic in sight, and then give me a cardinal direction, so based on the clock, or point, whatever is easier. And it doesn't hurt to roll the plane a little while doing it, and to pitch up and down, take a good look around. All right, so if we're satisfied that there's no one out there, I'll make a banked turn to 10 degrees to the left. Here we are, roll into the turn, 5 degrees, and 10 degrees. We need a little back pressure to maintain altitude. And then we're in a banked attitude. I know I'm in a banked attitude as my angle at the glare shield intersects with the horizon. My attitude indicator shows me at 20 degrees. My head indicator is decreasing. My airspeed is constant. My turn coordinator shows one wing low. And my altimeter is constant. My VSI is constant. And to recover, I'll roll back level, releasing the back pressure to our cruise attitude. And that's that. In a moment, I'm going to give you control. I want you to demonstrate for me a medium angle of bank up to 20 degrees to the left. Any questions? And this is where I would give you control, and you would demonstrate to me that you can make a left-hand turn with a medium angle of bank. Good job with the banked attitude and the turn. I know this was a long lesson. With this series, my intent is giving you advanced knowledge of what your in-flight training will look like, so you know what is expected of you and can come prepared. Unfortunately, every flight instructor is a little bit different, so my series will be close to what you were taught, but may not be identical. However, it is all based off of the flight training manual, and that won't change. As always, give me a thumbs up if you like the work I'm doing, and leave a comment down below. I really appreciate your feedback. I want you to know that there are 3 more things to touch in this lesson. I'm going to make a part 2. That is, we want to do yaw, which is very important to know, and combination attitudes, that is climbing embanked and descending embanked. But for those, I'm going to make a part 2 of chapter 5. Once again, know that this channel is an entertainment channel. I hope you learn things while you're here, but none of the information taught is formal flight instruction. Always refer to your flight instructor for information. And like I said, leave a comment. Good news, bad news, any news. I love to hear your feedback. So good luck with your flight journey, and here's to the skies.